Yet another day where I reached the end of the recording and realized I had done something wrong, and so I have to do it all from scratch again. So, welcome. Welcome to the April 28th, 2026, the Iran Calls the Shots edition of my vlog. First, I want to say that as I was preparing this, a Mystery 747 flew overhead. I ran outside. I was excited to see it. And when I came back in, I looked it up and I saw that it's a private 747 flying from Hong Kong to Abu Dhabi. I have no idea what was on board, but I don't know, since I don't get to see many 747s because in this region, all they fly for the super mega jumbo jet is the A380. Anyhow, yay. And the other thing remarkable about this picture is just, as you can see at the top of this, the the line of planes landing in Dubai. Yay! Yay! We need more good news. That's good news. Yay! Uh, whether you consider this good news or not, it depends on where you're at. But China is doing quite well. Their economy, whereas other economies of Southeast Asia are hurting big time because the rising cost of fuel is crippling them. China, on the other hand, is doing great because their economy is less dependent on oil and gas than we thought it was. They have electrified a lot of their systems. So there are cities in China now where 90% of the cars are EVs. So they're not so dependent on fuel as other nations are. And they make a lot of their electricity from coal that they mine themselves, and so they're not hurt as other economies are. So win one for China. By the way, also on Sunday, I heard one of the analysts on one of the Sunday morning talk shows refer to the term superpower suicide. I do believe that's going to become a term you're going to hear more and more often. I hope you heard it from me first or read it from anyhow. I think you're going to hear it more. Anyhow, the president doesn't like to get criticized, and so he's gone on the offensive. And so he's arguing about how we need to rebrand ICE. He's arguing that we this is the reason why we need a ballroom. And he's decided that we need to attack Jimmy Kimmel because he made a reference of my wife perhaps becoming a widow, which uh, yeah, he did. I don't know why that's anyhow. So I bring this up because there are a lot of people, and even one of my MAGA friends posted something yesterday that implies that what happened on Saturday was a staged event. And I'm like, wow, even one of his MAGA supporters is questioning whether or not this was a staged event. I don't quite go there. I don't think it was a staged event, but it does make you wonder how it is possible that these coordinated calls for a ballroom within 2 hours of the of what happened of the attempt. Um, and the coordinated attack on Kimmel, it's like, oh, come on. And by the way, it just also strikes me as, can you guys really be that stupid? You lost this war in September. Do you think that anyone at ABC or Disney is going to back down now after what happened in September? Yeah, no. So I have no idea why. It's like, why did you choose this battle? Why? I have no idea. Here's a thought-provoking one for you. President Nixon famously said, I am not a crook. President Clinton famously said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. President Trump on Sunday said, I am not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody. I'm not a pedophile. Well, you don't have to be a major student of history to know that Nixon and Clinton were lying. Hmm, perhaps they needed to go to confession. Um, let's talk about some Catholicism for a moment here. This story about whether or not Catholicism is changing Africa, I have no idea because I'm not a Catholic. I don't follow this closely. I do, however, I did, however, talk about Catholicism in one of my recent Thursdays with Mike. You can easily look it up on YouTube. If you type Mike Pites, Steve Kranz, whatever, you can find it. And it's just interviewing somebody who was a fantastic theater director, well known in the world of thespians. And we actually did an edition about Catholicism. Also, in the world of Catholicism, today happens to be my Catholic friend Anne's birthday. Anne is the reason that I'm in the UAE. She's one of my childhood besties, and I wouldn't have come here if it wasn't for her. She doesn't watch this vlog, so she won't see this, but happy birthday, Anne, either way. I brought up the Catholicism thing because there's a connection here. One of my other childhood besties is a guy named Lonnie. Several years ago, I got a call in the middle of the night because his godson had committed suicide. And Lonnie knows that my background with my brother, my aunt, and my uncle having committed suicide, that this is something that I take very, very seriously. I know Lonnie's sister Lori, the mother of Justin, who committed suicide. And so yesterday when this news came out that 988 is very successful in lowering the number of suicides, I asked Lori if I could make a post on Facebook and tag her, and sure, her reply was absolutely. Because for people for whom this is a serious, obviously deadly serious issue, this is actually very good news. It's working. And one of my former students actually posted below that link that 988 is what saved him from killing himself. So in a time when there is very little good news, let's embrace this little piece of good news. Now on to what I was the point of this, which is Iran is calling the shots. Chancellor Merz, the German chancellor, that you gotta love Germans, their ability to just keep it real, they're just awesome. And he has pointed out that the United States has been humiliated by Iran. And before I go off this, I just want to say a happy birthday to my favorite fellow German, Felix. Felix, he's my favorite fellow German because his bestie from childhood, Lucas, the three of us talk every day. We just talk every day. It's who we are. But German Lucas and German Steve, we're both assholes. And we make fun of Felix, and Felix never makes fun of us. And to the point that at times we actually feel guilty about it. But then we keep back and go back and keep doing it. So it says something about Lucas and me, but today's his birthday, and he also doesn't watch this vlog, but you know, I just I feel bad sometimes. But then I go back. I'm a horrible person. Okay, now let's talk about why. Let's talk about why Iran is in the driver's seat. So the president right now has sent his crack team of real estate agents to go to Islamabad to negotiate on the behalf of the U.S. Iran has said that they will not even sit down to talk until the U.S. agrees to cease all hostilities towards Iran and Hezbollah, which by agreeing to that, they're tying the arms of Israel because Israel is the one really fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon, not the United States. So Iran has made it clear they are not willing to even meet to talk until it's a ceasefire in both theaters of war. That would be a huge concession and something Bibi is not going to like at all. I don't know that Trump has the power to tell Bibi you can't continue fighting Hezbollah. I don't know that he has that power. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But Mertz is right in calling out the fact that Iran is the one calling the shots. They are setting the terms for which we can even have a conversation about having peace. And I don't know if you saw it, but yesterday it was also released that 4 million barrels of oil escaped the U.S. blockade. And so Iran is making almost as much money as they were making before the war. So Iran's doing well. They have no need to rush to the table and accept terms that go against them. President Trump keeps liking to say that we have all the cards. They have no cards. We have the cards. We have the cards. No, Mr. President, to mix up metaphors here, you have no clothes. And trust me, Mr. President, none of us want to see you naked. On that note, I wish you all well, and I'll see you tomorrow.